Bruce.
What up, bros?
And we went to another BruhVision.
BruhVision.
This week we are going back in time, i.e., to last summer.
You know, first of all, I just want to say happy 4th of July for everyone.
Happy 4th.
Um, I don't really celebrate 4th of July the way I used to. This holiday kind of has felt, it just hasn't been the vibe since, like, I don't know,
For a while.
2015. So, you know, when we first got together, we were kind of chit-chatting about, oh, should we do a re-release? Have we done Independence Day? Have we like done any of these other 4th of July movies? And the only one we've done is I Know What You Did Last Summer, which according to you is your favorite 4th of July movie.
It really is, followed by National Treasure, which we got to bring out at some point in time as well. But
Absolutely.
to your point, I don't really celebrate 4th of July. I do, however, celebrate T-Pain. And by that, I
Oh,
mean the founding father, Thomas Paine, who is very well known for writing Common Sense, which
yes.
is a book in 1776, which was very, very important. If you haven't done it, check it out. But I consider 4th of July my T-Pain holiday,
Right.
celebrating Thomas Paine and, of course, playing T-Pain. So, yeah, when you're American, you got to find the joy where you can.
I love how
And
you rebranded it. You were like, actually, what can I take from this? What can I do with it and make it my own? Love that. Yeah, for me, it's just like it's like a summer holiday. It's just like, hey, enjoy the summer kind of day. And that's mostly what I intend to be doing for 4th of July, as well as maybe watching a different 4th of July movie. Because I don't know about you, Independence Day is
it's historical fiction. I mean, like,
it's just,
that's
oh
how you
yeah,
gotta look at it. You
don't
gotta
get
look
me
at
wrong. I
it.
love Independence Day. It's a great 4th of July movie. But to me, Independence Day came out like around the same time as like Forrest Gump. In terms of just like how we like what was it like to be an American in the 90s? Like there was no baggage. It was just all patriotism and it was like inclusive somehow. Like I
Hmm.
got invited to white cookouts all the time. Like it was just like I don't know. It was a different way to celebrate it. It was more Sandlot, and now it's like very much like The Purge. Like we've just
Would you
gone
say that
too
it
far.
was a different world?
It really was. Pre 9/11 4th of July was a different time, guys. And if you weren't there, I'm sorry you missed it. But when I watch Independence Day, when I watch like Forrest Gump, the naivete of America, the ignorance we had, like all of it just allowed you to indulge in the patriotism in a way that was guilt free, in a way that I can't really do anymore.
Well, it's also funny that you say that because I've been, for those of you who remember like a while ago in our homework, I would look at this YouTube series called Timeline, and they would do like different decades and every decade. And what you learn by that is most of the world that you and I grew up in and that we're very familiar with and still dealing with today was created in the 1960s. Like,
Mm,
so it felt very nostalgic and all this other stuff because it was only 30 years old. And you had a
yeah.
bunch of silent generation or baby boomers who were kind of like where we're at in our millennial era. And so for them, they were looking back towards the old times. You had things like, it's so funny, we're celebrating the 250th and they had the bicentennial at that point in time.
Yep.
So the idea of what America could be, we also hadn't even really felt the crash of Reaganomics come in. So
Sure.
there was nothing but optimism. And then you
I
had
mean, the centennial that you were talking about in 1973, like think about this. Black people have rights for the first time. Like it was just like the optimism of like, oh, like we've really made progress in the 60s. We're headed to something better before we got to like the dark part of the 70s and 80s where that really they were like, actually not too fast, y'all.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tony. We still have the McFlurry. So as far as I'm concerned, everything's
Oh,
coming up great.
okay. All right. Found a McDonald's with an ice cream machine that's still working. Um Okay, so that leads us to I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ceej, what do you remember about this movie? Why does it have the impact on you that it does?
It's so funny. I think it just has an impact on me. The reason why it does is because it was as a huge fan of Scream and then Kevin Williamson in general. I just enjoy the movie. I will always remember Sarah Michelle Gellar's character fighting for her life in a way that I had never seen before. Ain't nobody trying to find a girl as much as this final girl. She was trying so hard. And
Mhm.
then that last minute, they tell you, just like what was it? Lot's wife in the Bible, don't look back. And she did, and it is what it is. But my point is, this movie was just like fun, campy. It kind of like embodies the 90s in the point of why are we doing this? Whose idea was this? How much
Mhm.
cocaine was used? But at the exact same time, being memorable and fun and lighthearted in movies that they just don't make like they used to. In the year 2026, we have recently had a remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer, last year,
Wait, it
2025,
wasn't a remake, it was a rebootical.
a rebootable, which we have to cover at some point in time. I was really upset we didn't have time to cover
Well,
it
I
this
was
year.
gonna ask you because I chose actively. You'll hear my thoughts on this movie when we get to the review. But it's always been a movie that I've seen a ton and I've never liked. It's never really made that much sense to me. And from everything I know of the rebootable that just happened in 2025, which I did not see, but I did do a full summary of right before we hopped on this call because I wanted to know about it.
Love it.
It also seems like it doesn't make much sense either.
Because it's never supposed to. This is campy fun. Like, I mean, again, there's certain things like I was watching. Oh, we talked about it previously when we were doing Toy Story. I was like, you have to exist in this world pretending like ring cameras aren't a thing. Like aerial
Sure.
footage, like satellites can't just zoom in and immediately identify everyone.
Yeah.
Like we have to pretend like we're not living in 1984 in order for any of these things to make sense. And so
Interesting that the argument can be made that can horror really exist and make sense in a time of mass surveillance?
exactly. But I think what's really funny is the core of this movie is surveillance. It is, hey, someone was watching you when you didn't think they were watching you.
Mm.
What happens when karma, if you want to call it that, or when repercussions, accountability? I think movies like this are always scary to white folks because accountability is the scariest thing they've ever had to interact with.
And I will say that part of the reason why 4th of July doesn't hit the same is because we know what America did last summer,
Exactly. And the summer before that,
metaphorically.
and the summer before that, and the summer
Mhm.
before that. So, yeah, no, I think that I Know What You Did Last Summer is just a really fun teenage rom-com. You get acting to the not even to the back of the house, to the across the street. And it does take place during the 4th of July, which again, there are very few movies that take advantage of just the culture of 4th of July,
Mm.
i.e., everyone's outside, there are fireworks, there's lots of noises, there's lots of senses, there's lots of strangers. And the idea that this movie chose this setting is it's really important because again, you have so much cover that it can be used during this
I
time.
wonder if it was intentional, hey, I Kevin Williamson's like, I want to make a 4th of July movie, or it was, okay, I have this break between seasons 1 and 2 of Dawson's Creek to film this. Let's just use what we got.
I mean, I didn't even look it up, and all of you who are sticklers for details probably hate us for this. We didn't do any research before we had this conversation, but I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was filmed in like February, and they were like,
You know what? You're right. You're right.
But that being
I
said,
Oh, go ahead.
you go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, I too remember the chokehold that Kevin Williamson had, in pop culture from his debut in Scream. I remember Dawson's Creek and the hysteria that was there, and I just remember that it felt like we got a new kind of John Hughes in Kevin Williamson, who was taking teenage characters, giving them complex issues, making them intelligent enough to try to solve these issues on their own, at least more so in Dawson's Creek than in this fucking movie. Um, but it also just felt like we got like a new era of like, I'm not really a brat pack, but just like the stars of these movies, whether it be Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jennifer Love Hewitt, like they all felt like they belonged to this new class of brat pack, which was just like the coolest kids in Hollywood. And like the chokehold they had of movies from like 1996 to like 2004, where it was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see a movie because Julia Stiles is in it. I'm gonna go see this movie because Kristen Dunst is in it, because they were just all part of that like class of just like hip cool teens that were leading movies at that time.
Yeah, but to your point, like it's so funny, and I love that you brought this up. I never made the connection of Kevin Williamson and John Hughes, and I think you're right. I think there is like not only does he have like a cast that he likes to work with, and themes that just come back again and again, but it also it was using teenage and telling teenage stories that really defined the late '90s, just like John Hughes did with the late '80s. So I think that's really important to point out. And it's right before we like become massed Disney Channel originals, right before we are just really inundated with paparazzi and online and the internet. So I think it's kind of the message of teenagers before teenagers become a MySpace generation.
Sure. It was just like this was like the last chapter of teenhood that you didn't have to worry about ending up online.
Yeah.
Because even to your point, like when we get to the early 2000s, before social media really took over, you still have the whole Perez Hilton, TMZ of it all that was taking the Lindsay Lohans and the Britney Spears and turn like getting kind of priming for that next wave of surveillance. So yeah, and for the fact this movie is about surveillance is also really interesting. To your point, you said that you wanted to watch National Treasure. Were there any other Fourth of July movies that come to mind during this time that are maybe, dare I say, better than I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Well, better is a reach. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's quintessential. It just in like the level of fun that we get. National Treasure is another really good one. Independence Day we've already talked about. I don't know. Is Jaws a Fourth of
I
July or
would
is it a
consider
Memorial Day?
Jaws Fourth of July. I think Jaws is like Fourth of July weekend. They're like, we don't want to close the beach. Like famously, we're not closing the beaches.
Exactly. Like, why would you?
This weekend brings in too much money for our town. So I think that is a Fourth of July.
You know what's actually really funny? Like, I don't think it's an actual like in universe Fourth of July movie, but a Fourth of July movie also is you're gonna get like a Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick is
Sure.
another really
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fun one. And I don't know if you saw this, but they are coming out this year with Young Washington, which is like a retelling of young George Washington, and he comes in and he's just like, "We got to get it together." And it's just like it's one of those things where
Is
it's
this
like
okay? I need to know more about this movie because immediately I was about to say some shit like, "Oh, so a white person wanted to try Hamilton?" Like, okay,
no, like, so what's funny is like Hamilton, which is another really great pick, is like fun and campy and like very self-aware and like we have rap battles. This is one of those think of The Patriot. With Mel Gibson, only made for PAX TV. Like that's what Young
ooh,
Washington is given. And I
okay.
think it's really important. But yeah, no, I think
The
I would
Patriot
love.
was one I used to watch as well, and much like my relationship with America, my relationship with Mel Gibson has changed quite a bit. So since then,
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, those are just like the ones that I watch on a regular basis. I don't really know. I think even something that I just looked at and I think is really funny. Um, our very own William Daniels in 1776.
sure.
That is a movie that you could probably have fun with, and if you're friends of our podcast, you would really love to see Feeney in all of his
Mm.
1776 love of Pennsylvania. But those things are really it. And then, of course, we have the master of all propaganda. America is great. is there anything we can't do of it all, which would be Armageddon. That is Michael Bay. I think honestly, it's Michael Bay, it's Ben Affleck, it's Bruce
Have
Willis,
we done
all at their peak.
Armageddon? Because we might need to do Armageddon.
We got to look back and check. But if we have not, I got to tell you, the animal cracker scene alone, and God, Steve
Animal
Buscemi.
crackers.
Like again, it's like I don't know if we've done it, but I can't tell you that I am ready to have all these conversations at the drop of
I'm
a hat.
also ready to have these conversations. Just real quick, some other Fourth of July movies that I love that don't really get a lot of as much attention as Independence Day. Sandlot has a great
Oh,
Fourth of July
really?
scene in it.
Okay.
Not technically Fourth of July, but I love like the summertime, like Stand By Me Now and Then. Like I don't know if there's Fourth of July overlaps there, but like Field of Dreams, not a Fourth of July movie, but feels like it can be incorporated somehow. But the movie that I'm gonna watch this year for Fourth of July, and I'm very excited to, is Die Hard 4.
Live
Live
free or
Free
die
and
hard.
Die Hard,
Yes,
the
yes, I
one
knew
with
it.
Justin Long, and it's actually a fucking great movie. I'm excited to watch it this year. So
You know what? Honestly, I think this is like the thing about Fourth of July, especially when you're an American, the summer, whether it's Memorial Day, Fourth of July, Labor Day, there are just points in time.
Juneteenth,
Juneteenth. Well, no, no. What I was about to say is there are moments where, as much as we as Americans and especially as Black people are so ready to like criticize America and call it out for its bullshit, there are moments kind of like the Olympics where we are just like Star Spangled Banner. Yeah,
sure.
baby. Give me a Coors Light, throw something on the grill. I'm wearing stars and stripes and I'm America,
Whoa,
baby.
yeah, like it's cookout season. That is the hard thing about being Black, is that like you really like, we do patriotic holidays the best. We have
Yeah.
the best cookouts, we have the best everything, but it's just there's just like, it's like,
Well, I think to me the thing about it, whether it's the Fourth of July weekend or movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer, is there is a campiness to it. There's a
mhm,
tongue in cheek, very self aware, very much like leaning into the cliche of it all and just having fun with it. Because again, like at any point in time, I'm going to tell you a cab, and I'm going to, I'm going to
yeah,
vote for a world that I have yet to see. But at the exact same time, do I want to wear the American flag as a little Speedo and be given, American Eagle like sunglasses and
sure.
just a water gun to like shoot into the air? Absolutely. Do I love fireworks and hot dogs? Yes. So it's just like
Who
sometimes
doesn't?
we're just doing these things not because we believe in the mythology, but because we believe in the fantasy.
You know what? I'm so glad you said that. I was literally in a Fourth of July themed workout class today. Don't ask questions. But the instructor was playing all of these like Fourth of July tunes, and George Michael's "Freedom" started playing. And the only reason I bring it up is because I was listening to the lyrics where he was like, "All we have to do is take these lies and make them true." And I
Yeah.
feel like that's how Black people have approached our relationship with America. We've been told the promise of it, and we know that those promises are lies, but it's on us to make that true and to like force the hand so that, freedom does come to everyone. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a complicated holiday, and I'm glad that we're finding ways to enjoy it anyway.
Yeah, but as you were saying, I'm talking about lies and making them true. I think movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer or National Treasure or any of these kind of like Die Hard, Live Free or Die Harder. The thing about these types of movies is they embody the American dream, i.e., fantasy of it all. The
Mm,
explosions, the power. I'm thinking of like even something like Men in Black, where it's just like
sure.
the theme is don't trust authority. The theme
Yeah.
is, hey, you thought you got away with it, and um just the powers that be or whatever you want to call it, is making your day a little bit harder. And there's nothing that Americans can't do with a little bit of determination. Is everybody going to make it? No, not at all. That is
Yeah.
not what we guarantee. But we do guarantee that you'll have a good time while you try to get there. And I think that that's kind of like what I enjoy about this time of year.
Great, great, wonderfully said. Anything else about I Know What You Did Last Summer before we hop into our review?
What are you waiting for, Tony?
Oh my, oh, such a
What
classic
are you
scene. You know,
waiting
we were
for?
just talking about Scary Movie 6 and how, like, I can't watch that scene without thinking about Scary Movie's interpretation of it. But as much as I do hate this movie, I can't deny that that scene, Sarah Michelle Gellar's
It's not
chase and
Sarah.
kill,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
you know, all of these things are really iconic. And, you know, the Ryan Phillippe, like, I mean, this movie
Freddie
gave us so
Prinze
much.
Jr.'s, I got
Yeah.
a letter. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
bruh, you got a letter?
Ryan Phillippe's white rage is something I think about every time I see like that type of person. I'm like, oh, that rage lives in them.
It's really hard being an angry white man who's been given everything. I don't know if you know this, but it's a hard time for them. So
It's a hard time. All right, well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this little new intro. We will be back with new episodes, perhaps Armageddon, perhaps National. I don't know. You guys let us know if you want us to jump into this summer. Explore some old school blockbusters. But until then, enjoy the show.
Hey, TC, what time is it?
It's time for a makeover.
Hi, I'm Ceej,
And I'm TC.
and welcome to Movie Makeover, the podcast where we take the movies you love, think you love,
guilty pleasures, or just downright hate.
and give them a much-needed update.
Every episode we'll review the good, the bad, and ultimately the makeover, where we pitch our changes for the film or cast our own reboots.
This week's movie is 1997's I Know What You Did Last Summer, written by Kevin Williamson of Dawson's Creek, Scream, and Vampire Diaries fame. Directed by Jim Gillespie, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., Ryan Felipe, and Anne Heche.
And Johnny Galecki.
And Johnny Galecki. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a very good point. And
Anne Heche could stop yelling Johnny Galecki.
yeah, I guess, you know what? Which I have a lot to get into. But if you hear, we have a guest this week.
Yay!
Sorry, I started talking already.
Yeah, no, you're really fine. So, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jen Halligan. I am a comedian, writer, performer, and also elementary school teacher.
Oh, there you go.
Wearing multiple hats.
Yeah, I'm going to say multi-talented.
And I am obsessed with this movie.
Absolutely.
So happy to be here.
This movie was requested by you, just to be clear.
Yes.
Yeah, like, actually, we were, like,
First thing I
pitching.
thought
Yeah,
of.
we were pitching ideas that you were like, could we do I Know What You Did Last Summer? I was like, done. I don't need to hear anything else from you.
So, Jen, what is your personal history with this movie?
My story, my journey with this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw it for the first time in high school, but I've seen it so many times that it's hard to remember the very first time because it just like it all blends together. It is like a comfort food for me. It's like having mac and cheese. It's like I get to watch these terrible actors
Yes.
get murdered. It's so much fun.
Is that what it is? Is that what makes it therapeutic?
I mean, maybe. Like, I can't even pinpoint it. And, like, when watching it again, I was like, what? Like, I was so excited for certain scenes. Like, I was
Yes.
very excited for the Sarah Michelle Gellar getting killed scene.
Which, by the way, I was going to list that as my good, and I will when we talk about
Yeah.
it. It is known as, like, one of the best chase scenes in horror.
Oh, my God. And when
So,
she's
like,
getting so...
we will get
To
into
the
that, sir.
fireworks. Okay,
We
sorry.
will get into
I
that. But, like,
have-
it is. We will get there. But go ahead, Jen.
But yeah,
I don't protest.
So I feel like this movie is what spawned my passion for like PG-13 and like bad horror movies.
Mhm.
Like I love them, and I
Well, this was a time period where we had ample amounts to
Mhm.
choose from.
Yeah.
I mean, from everything from urban legends to the faculty to like
But I want to say that it's not that like this movie, as I wrote earlier, it's like it's because of the success of Scream that we got everything else.
Mhm.
Like Scream led to this.
yeah.
Did this come out? Didn't they come out around the same time? They're
So
both
no.
Kevin Williamson.
So what happened was Kevin Williamson wrote this before Scream. Scream, like he couldn't sell it anywhere. Scream won, and immediately Columbia was like, "We'll take it. Like we'll take anything else you."
And
have.
it's clear that they didn't read the first draft before putting in the pitch.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that too. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the issue, and I was saying this earlier, is that like the things that make this like categorically a bad movie are the things that I love about it.
Absolutely.
So it's hard for me to say like, oh, this is good and this is bad, because it's like I'm aware that this is bad, but I love that they committed so fucking hard.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, TC, you tell me your history with this. What was your?
You know, you know me, I'm a huge horror movie fan. I grew up watching them. I remember seeing this in theaters, coming off of the excitement of Scream. I was in elementary school when this came out, granted, but I just remember, like, even as a child, this was also one of the first VHSs I had too, like of a horror movie that I had. And I remember even as a child thinking, I like this movie, I like these actors, but I don't know what the hell is going on. And I gotta be honest, still don't quite know how the events of one summer led to the events of the next.
We're getting there.
But even with that said, I still enjoyed the movie. It was still on repeat. Like she said, like it was just one of those things that was just always on. I think too that because obviously with our history, the Boy Meets World, it's episode where Jennifer Love Hewitt appears.
Oh my god, I love that episode.
It's why we started our other podcast. No lie, we
just wanted an excuse to talk about that episode.
We wanted, and so you're right. We were like, what if we did all 5 seasons just so we could talk about this one episode?
But it was just that thing where it became like part of pop culture, and even in Scary Movie, like you see so many like parodies of this that it just became a really pivotal part of that part of the 90s. So that's just what I remember.
All right, so my experience with this movie was very similar to yours, Jen, which is that it was my introduction to like teen slashers. Like I saw this before I saw Scream.
Dope.
And it really gave me
the best.
But like it just gave me like a passion for like this kind of that I mentioned Vampire Diaries, or like this little teen soap opera, overacting, over exaggeratedness.
And with scary things that because they're happening in such a ridiculous way, like aren't scary.
Exactly. Like I will watch a thriller, but I don't like gore.
Yeah.
And so this movie specifically doesn't have a lot of gore in it. It has like shocking moments.
You see
like
blood, but you don't see like like any penetration of like a knife.
That's like the PG-13 horror movie theme. Also, LOL penetration. But it's the perfect genre because it's exactly like Vampire Diaries. Like the first when I got hooked on that was because I turned on an episode and someone like literally got decapitated.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like in a funny way almost.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
And absolutely. And then like I think Gillespie, the director, specifically said that he didn't want it to be overly gory. And so like even the one scene that we have, which is when Elsa, like there's like splatter of blood, that was like they had to put that in because the stakes just didn't seem realistic enough.
One of the defining characteristics of this like pivot in horror movies really comes from Kevin Williamson, because prior to this it was that focus on blood and gore. When you think of like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, it was always like, what creative way can they come up with to kill this person?
Exactly.
But from Scream on, there was so much more focus on like the dialogue and what the characters were saying and how what you could do to make just the format more interesting versus just the tried and true, we're just going to kill this person in a fun way.
Yeah. And the mystery of it too, because as little as it may make sense, they do have like a mystery of like solving like, who is this person who's trying to kill us? Like what's going on?
It's a classic whodunit.
Yeah, it is a whodunit, and I want to get into that. So anyway, let's, in order to do that, give us the critics' reception. Like we talked about how we felt about it.
Oh,
yeah. What did the critics say, Tuesday?
Well, I will say that this movie was a pretty big success. With a budget of $17 million, it grossed $125 million.
Ooh,
wow.
Which is getting a sequel,
which
for
is
sure.
why we had so many of these horror movies, because they were cheap and they made so much money.
Yeah.
But it was not well received. IMDb gives it a 5.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 42%. And Roger Ebert gave it 1 star, saying that at the end of the movie, I'm paraphrasing, he basically looked around at his colleagues, saw that they were trying to make more sense of the movie than the filmmakers were. So that's probably the greatest way to segue into a podcast about this movie.
I love Roger Ebert.
Yeah, like it's really interesting, especially now, to hear what he likes and what he doesn't like. because what movie did he give like a chance? He was like, oh, it's actually like really deep, and you're like, really? This was where Robin?
Like he gave like Flintstones or Risky Business or something like that.
I think it was Flintstones
Yeah.
where he was like, oh no, like they nailed it, and you were like, really? This was where you were like, nail in the head.
But this one, I'm like,
Yeah.
accurate.
I mean, I love that they didn't figure it out. Like, I love that they are like, sometimes the murderer walks slow and sometimes he's very nimble. Like, I just...
I mean, like, efficient dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what fish house he was working with, but dude had it together. I mean, like, in and out.
Yeah. I mean, when he has the body and all of the crabs and everything in the trunk, she leaves, 8 minutes tops. And it's all gone, and not to mention
It's
he
detailed.
cleaned
I mean,
the trunk. Like, it's
like vacuum.
Yeah, like,
What is happening?
Ryan Felipe, when Barry dies, like, it just that crime scene is like there's like one drop of blood, and you're like, dude is efficient. I mean,
well, I was gonna say this, but I think that was actually intentional to show that how the kids cleaned up the body after they hit it with their car.
We'll get into it. All right. So
that actually makes it.
If you haven't figured it out already, there will be spoilers. But to give you a summary of what we're talking about, in the movie, after Helen Shivers, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar,
incredible name,
wins a beauty pageant, her friend Julie James, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt, Barry Cox, Ryan Felipe, and Barry Bronson, Freddie Prinze Jr. are celebrating along with their graduation on the 4th of July. Who graduates? Who graduates July 3rd?
Also, this beauty pageant. Yeah, I want to come back to.
I also.
We're gonna. The four friends are like partying. They're on the beach. They're telling this story about this urban legend with the hook for hand.
They're telling a story that apparently all of them already knew. I didn't know who was telling the story to who because they all had an understanding of it.
Again, I just want to know whenever we do stuff like this, I'm like, who did this? Like, did you and your friends go out to the beach and just tell each other horrors?
Now, this was I thought this too, because where does this movie take place? Is this North Carolina based, as most Kevin Williamson movies and productions are, or is this West Coast?
So the thing is, it is filmed in North Carolina, as most things are. However, they filmed the accident on the West Coast because he described it as the flattest state he'd ever seen, and it's
because I was like, I would lived in North Carolina for a minute, and there's not rocky cliffs like that anywhere but California. So
exactly, it's somehow
movie magic.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry. They head out of the beach in the middle of the night. Barry is drunk and decides to let Ray drive his car back from the beach. On the way, they hit and apparently kill a man because they think because they think they've killed someone. They literally toss him. They think that the right thing to do now is throw the body overboard,
but he's not dead. Dun, dun, dun.
Turns out while they were dumping the body, apparently the body that they assume they hit comes back to kill them. And it's just like a mystery of who's targeting them.
Yeah, they go through the rest of the movie really just one useless clue after another.
Yeah. I mean, someone. That's what the part I'm missing. Julie, played by again Jennifer Love Hewitt, gets a note that says, "I know what you did last summer." And thus the mystery begins. And that is our plot summary.
So she comes home from being in college and having just terrible bangs.
Well, first of all, everyone gets bangs the first year of college. I did it too.
It was a big bang reveal too, wasn't it?
And hers is stringy.
It's like 1 year later, she's in college. She does this dramatic chair turn, and then the bangs just flow. And you're like, oh, you don't look good.
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird to me, and I'll talk more about it in the bad, which is that they were like, do you see how terrible she looks? She doesn't even use makeup. Can you imagine? Yeah. She's so distraught, she's decided to get bangs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's talk about the good in this movie, because as always, I think that, to me, one of the things that I really liked about this movie is it completely ditches this premise, but there's like a whole consequences to actions, or like taking ownership of what you've done. It's kind of like, I guess, the theme of the movie.
I'll agree with that, because there is a point where they're at the end of the movie. It's like July 4th. They're all getting ready to like confront this guy, and Freddie Prinze Jr. is trying to convince Jennifer Love Hewitt, like, hey, let's just disappear, let's get out of town, let's go. And she says something to the effect of, I can't run away from this anymore, like I have to deal with this. And I thought that, through all the problems with the script, there was something that they were trying to get across about, taking responsibility for your actions.
Well, two things about that. One, they say that, and then the first time they're given the opportunity, cops like, hey, why would this guy try to kill you? For no reason. But okay, we'll get there. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I was like, because lying seemed to be what got you into this. Yeah.
But maybe that's why there's the sequel. But also, like, I mean, honestly, fuck the police. Like, that like, they took responsibility for themselves. Like,
it was more of a personal thing. They didn't need to get cops involved.
They established already the cops in this town were terrible. Like, the cop didn't believe Sarah Michelle Gellar. Also, when she is like seeing Ryan Felipe get killed, and then she's screaming and like, oh my God, they all look at her and are like,
like no one turns around.
People actively hold her back.
Yeah, I was like, sex, it's a man America.
Okay, all these things are.
But I will say, I love a lot of the fashion choices of this, even though they're terrible. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that Jen was saying, like it's terrible, but it's amazing at the same time. Like, one of the things I really love is that they tried so hard to make Jennifer Love Hewitt this like virginal character, even though she loses her virginity on a sandy beach with no blanket.
No, just Sequa where it got.
It's so in that scene where they go to Anne Heche's house for the first time, Sarah Michelle Gellar is wearing a crop top and Daisy Dukes. Yes. Jennifer Love Hewitt is wearing a full, like, from neck to toe, completely covered in a drapey white. I was like, it's the middle of summer. What is going on?
She was depressed. One of the things that I love, though, is, like, they do have a sense of humor throughout the whole thing. Like, I think it's, like, they're taking it seriously, but they're also, like, they're not. Like, at the beginning, there's a moment where Sarah Michelle Gellar and, like, Ryan Felipe are, like, talking about their future, and she's like, you're gonna be a football player, like I'm gonna be a movie star, and then like you're gonna impregnate with me with our first of 3 children before you go to rehab for the first time. And I was just like, yes, like there's like, I get that they know that this movie is silly. Like,
there's well, for me, what I like about it is it established its characters in like a funny way, and I don't know. Like, for me, it was good because it established it in a funny way, but, like, there is a way of, like, saying it was bad, because, like, it opens out with Julie being like, I'm a feminist, right? And you're just like, okay, everything we need to know about her. And then she's like, I'm gonna go to New York and be a model. And you're like, dumb, naive girl, we get it.
But I will say, I did love that the first lines we hear these main characters say are about Sarah Michelle Gellar's boobs.
Yeah. Again, it's just like, we established who we are. They kind of do it in a way that, to me, is fun, and it's supposed to be fun. And I thought that was really good. Going back to what I said earlier, a little bit about like the lesson here. One thing that I think is important to note is when I did my research, turns out this is based on a book.
Yeah, I saw that too.
The book is actually about like ownership and consequences of your actions and like everything like that. So again, I think that's
very loosely based on.
Yeah.
No.
By the way,
it's been very.
I read the notes and they were like, no, they like took the title. Like, that was it. But like the source material, differs greatly. But yeah. I just thought that.
I'd love to read that.
Yeah, I'm interested.
One of the things I did like, and I saw that one of the critics said this, was that they said that with Scream, the characters in the movie are acknowledging the tropes of a horror movie. Mm-hmm. And so that made it really kind of like this next level of meta self-aware horror. But this is more of a throwback to like the early 1980s, whereas the characters aren't saying, hey, we shouldn't run up the stairs. They're just actively doing it. Like, they're doing all the things that Scream is making fun of in a way that is kind of a classic throwback that some people actually were saying, like, that's what we enjoyed about it, was that it felt more traditional.
Well, again, the director Gillespie, what he said was that he wanted like those points. He wanted to hit those beats, but in a different way. And like I thought about that specifically with Sarah Michelle Gellar's scene when she goes up the the pulley or whatever it's called, the dumbwaiter. That's a way, like, she's locked in, she can't, and there are no stairs there. She literally has to, like, that's her going up to the second floor in a different way.
There are stairs. He goes up the stairs.
Oh, well, I'm like, she can't at that particular point. Yeah. She can't run up the stairs. But you're right, like the killer's going up the stairs.
Yeah.
As opposed to her running up the stairs where you're like, why would you do that when the doors?
There's so many points where you're just like, why would you guys do it this way?
But I think one of the reasons I do love Sarah Michelle Gellar's like escape scene is because she makes it so far. Like I feel like her character has so much growth throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. Even like the way that she starts out on the beach and then she's been kind of knocked down a peg and she's working at the store. But like just through,
and her sister hates her.
Her sister's a bitch.
So I want to say that because one of the, like, in a good category, it passes the Bechdel test almost immediately.
For sure.
Like it's like immediately her sister and you. I was gonna say, like, her sister is kind of like it's weird because you get that. They hate each other. They're never like, Dad likes you more, and that's why I'm this way. It's just like you can tell her sister hates her, and like that relationship feels.
I feel like if her sister found her dead, she wouldn't be as upset. But I will agree with you that, like, Sarah Michelle Gellar, her fight to stay alive was way more than Jennifer Love Hewitt's. Like, it was almost like at a certain point they were both the final girl. Like, there wasn't any one specific final girl. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt loses her virginity at the start of the movie, so there's not even that to carry her into this whole, like, she's the designated final girl. So
especially, because Jennifer Love Hewitt is the final girl, so she was the one who like didn't want to do it. She had the moral code. But Sarah Michelle Gellar, like, I feel like she's destined to die because she didn't have that moral code at the beginning. But I feel like it hurts more because you've seen her grow that moral code. Like, you've seen her like become stronger, more independent just through the movie. Like, it feels like she has like been like she's grown and be like more matured. So it's like when she is fighting for her life, it also helps that it's like it's Buffy. But like, she is showing intelligence. She is like making it work. Like,
that's one of the things that I like when I saw this movie. It was the very first time because, like I said, it kind of introduced me to like the PG-13 ones where but I had seen other ones before, but this was the very first time I had seen someone work hard. Like she did everything she could, and to be honest, let's be honest, she only dies because the script needed her to, because there's no way that girl would have paused. Like, I was like, why in the world would you pause? Like, they don't even give like a reason where she like heard something behind her. She literally just gets to a point, stop, not even to catch her breath, she just stops and like looks back, and it feels like almost.
But then when you see on her face that she has known, she has made it. But I honestly do think Sarah Michelle Gellar is a good actress.
Yeah.
So like that makes it different too. Like, because I think she's genuinely good. So like during that fight for her life, you see how much she wants to live. Like, you see her pain over losing her sister, even though it like
she's a great screamer.
Yes. Yeah. And then when she is almost there, like her face is just like, I made it. And then she didn't, and it's like, oh.
And it hurts. I will say it's gut wrenching because you see her like she's in this dark alley, like she is literally fought. And it's weird because we talk a lot about I think for me the department store is like where you consider like this really big chase, but it starts from the moment she's in the police car. And like,
which, by the way, Kevin Williamson, Scream 2, police car getting locked into it.
Yeah, but it's like it starts in the police car, and she is just. Again, she does not like accept, the door won't open and I'm stuck. She's the bitch is breaking this window.
Yeah.
She's getting out. She immediately runs to the store. And she, Elsa's there. She's like, Elsa, go to the back door, lock it. She's being mindful. She makes like these little mistakes, but as you said, I think she kind of is always a little self-aware in a way that we don't usually get. Because like I saw the scene where she goes downstairs and she's looking for Elsa and she looks at the mannequins. And there's like a moment where she looks at the mannequins and she like knows, she realizes she's fucked up because that one of them is him. Yeah. And it's just like this moment of,
I know you said that this scene was like one of the and I know this is like I do see it on like lists of like really popular like chase scenes in horror movies, but I think that, again, I'm coming from someone who like hardcore horror movie buff, like there's a lot of the stuff I've seen before. Like this didn't show me anything that I hadn't seen already to make this go like, oh, this is such an important movie chase.
When
horror
was the
chase.
last time, like, again, for me, and I you mentioned it, Jen, and so I mean, what other movie had someone fight this hard who wasn't the final girl, I guess?
It's not so much about the fight of it. I think as far as just like it being scary, I didn't find it to be scary, but I do agree that she's working her ass off.
It is, I think, the tensest moment.
I'm gonna say I don't find it scary. I think it's just there's intensity.
You're like on it. You're like, I want her to live. Like I want her to live, and that's the thing too. Is once again, great actress, but like her character changes so much from being that like one that you would be like, oh, I'm happy if she dies, whatever. Clearly, like to being like, please live, please live.
Yeah, that's what's really great about it. And one of the things I did really like about this movie is this whole, like what you were saying, how like you saw her get knocked down a peg in the movie, and you really kind of see that with all the characters, that the guilt of what happened isn't something that they can just hide. This isn't just a secret that they're just so easily able to move on from. Like Jennifer Love Hewitt, her mom thinks she's doing drugs.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, she went to New York, and maybe it's just that thing of like small town girl tries to go, but I think it's the stress of carrying around the secret, the weight of it that's been kind of like tearing
she's
them
just not
all
as
down.
expressive as she was.
None of them are where they want to be, except for Ryan Phillippe. Funny,
Which, by the way, so what I love, and what I kind of like to move on from the chasing, which again fantastic in my mind. Ryan Phillippe is Barry is one of the most realistic characters I think ever. It's sad, but it's so true
because he's every person you ever hated in high school.
Well, he is that entitled white dude where it's just like from the moment we get in where he's before the accident, he's angry, he uses like, you know, his supposed physical nature. I'm like, you have no body mass. Like a flick.
Dude, you love 90s hot guys. They're so tiny.
But he has that ego of someone. You know, he threatens Julie. They all listen. He's leader of the pack, even though there's no reason for him to be. And it's because it's established he has money, and like it's his dad bought him the car, and it's all these things. You know, he's the one who's just like immediately after.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the body. And everyone's just like, I feel like there's steps.
What do you guys think was the backstory with Max?
Oh, wait. I want to just, the reason why I brought up Ryan Phillippe is, like I said, that I thought he was one of the most realistic ones, but it's also, it was funny because he has a line. You were talking about how everyone deals with this. He has a line where he said, I wrote it down. It was like, from now on, this is just a therapy bill. He was like it was something like
this is a future therapy bill.
Yeah. Like, this is let's see if I can find it. But it was, to me, one of the funniest lines. And again, this is now merely a future therapy bill.
Yeah.
And
that is such an iconic Kevin Williamson line too. That is like just it's so Kevin.
Yeah.
That's so Kevin.
Yeah, but just the idea, the fact that Barry, his hubris, he feels will protect him.
Yeah.
And it's just like he meets everything with anger, which I guess is like another form. Like we talked about, like Julie being depressed, and what is there?
Sarah Michelle Gellar, her not making it as an actress. Freddie Prinze Jr. becoming a fisherman.
Yeah, like
he was going to go to college.
Yeah, but like Barry is just like, he's just angry all the time. And again, it's like, I guess you could read that as like this repressed thing. If they so much,
but he became more of an asshole.
Yeah,
but he was always an ass.
Yeah, but but it's like it goes from like I think it's there's something realistic about men who anger is how they express their stress. You know what I mean? It's just like he feels like if he can be angry enough, he can control the situation. That's how he meets Max. He's just like, I handled it. And you're like, did you?
That's why I was asking you guys about Max, because it seems like there was so much beef with Max from the beginning. And I was like, what happened here?
So my whole thing with Max is just Max is that guy. The characters to me, I will say, like, they feel real, and Max is that guy who's like, I'm the good guy, so you should be with me, not with these D-holes. And you're like, are you any better?
Yeah, I felt like he was someone who, like, had, like, a crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yes.
and like she wasn't interested, and like she was being nice to him, but they all thought he was really weird, and he was super weird.
Yeah.
And
Intense.
like I don't know why he died. Like that made no sense, or like why then the killer put Barry's jacket on him. My favorite, like it's said as though it's gonna be like a mic drop moment, is like after, like when you're saying like Barry is pissed off and going like that doesn't make any sense, like he wasn't in the trunk, and then Julie turns to him and goes, "Where's your jacket, Barry?"
Yeah. I mean, but that's again. There's kind of logic to this. Like she's like, "All right, where's your jacket?" You know, it's like you're telling me that I'm wrong or that I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you were attacked. Like these things,
and then your jacket is missing.
I also love there, like right after that scene, Freddie Prinze Jr. shows up. He's like, "Yeah, I got a letter." Like, wait, you got a letter? She got her hair chopped off. There was like a dead body in her trunk. I got hit by her, but you got a letter.
Yeah, I like it. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I get why Barry's yelling at Freddie Prinze Jr. because like he's
kind of stupid.
He's total wiener.
Well, and his story of being like the kid from the wrong side of the tracks, you know, that whole thing.
But that's okay. So here's my theory. I have a theory that Max and Barry, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Johnny Galecki, they used to be best friends.
No, theory is Ryan Fleet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ray is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ray and Max.
Yeah.
They used to be best friends, and they weren't part of the cool group, and they both crushed on Jennifer Love Hewitt. Then Jennifer Love Hewitt got with him, and then like it pissed Max off, and he was like, "We're no longer friends, and I'm still crushing on her, and you're just trying to be with the cool kids or whatever." And that's why there's that beef.
Yeah.
They set him up to be a red herring in this movie as well. But he's also the first death, so it's super frustrating to see that like they had this character that they could have done something more with that they just did nothing with. But then they were like, "Hey, we have 10 pages left in this script. Let's just throw some new shit."
So actually, I did research again. I will put this personally. I would put this in the bad. But there is a backstory and there is logic to why Max was killed. Because I was like, well, this makes no sense. He didn't do anything. But what happens is in that scene when when Barry, you know, attacks Max, he says, "You were there that night." And Max says, "I'm going to go to the cops." And, you know, tell them. And they're like, it's implied. It's not good, but it's not good. It's not shown anywhere, but it's implied because he was going to go to the cops, then the cops would be watching Barry. And then they could, like the rest of the killer's plans couldn't be.
That makes sense. And also it helps to bolster the idea that Freddie Prinze Jr. is the killer because it's like, oh, you're going to go to the cops. So then because they're trying to also make it seem like Ray is doing it.
Yes, exactly. And like they do try to set up, you know, that Ray, there are moments that
I'm on board. This is a good column.
Like I said, it's just like it's there, and I will say, and this movie does a lot of things to where I was like, how would you even? Because I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
How would you even know? And then I was like, oh wait, no, it actually has a moment where it explains how the killer knows where to go, or whatever. Because the scene where he's in the closet. Mm-hmm. Hiding
jacking off to Sarah Michelle Gellar changing.
By the way, I wrote that down, but like
it's in my bad column.
Yeah. When he's in the closet watching her to get undressed, that's when Elsa comes in and Elsa says, "Hey, we're doing inventory at the store tomorrow. I'm gonna be there after 10." You know, it's just like all of these things are. He now knows where she's going, why she goes
about the parade.
Exactly. Yeah. So like all of these things. In any other movie, he would just show up and you'd be like, how would he even know? And I feel like that would be a huge part of it. They kind of always, in a way, ground him being human. You know what I mean?
Sure.
To an extent.
I said, in a way.
Can we... Is there any other good...
Does anyone else have good?
I wanted to ask Jenna, what boy did you think was the hunkiest when you were watching this as a kid?
I feel like I didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
I was definitely I feel like with this, the girls are such the stars, and it's really cool because I do feel like it's a very feminist horror movie.
Yeah.
But I was so and this was pre me discovering Buffy the Vampire Slayer too. But I loved Sarah Michelle clearly. Yeah. I've been talking about her this whole time. And I also love Jennifer Love Hewitt. But so for me, it was me fangirling over those two.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Felipe, I always thought was an asshole. I maybe thought he was hot in Cruel Intentions, but once again, that is Sarah Michelle Gellar's movie. And then Freddie Prinze Jr. is just kind of he's very feminine.
It's funny because Ryan Felipe is he's shown to be this hot guy. Like there's like a almost gratuitous amount of him shirtless in the locker room, and you're like, oh, and then I remember Cruel Intentions where we see his ass, and it's just like, oh my god, this skeleton of like a boy. Like just, I guess like compared to today's standards, like even like the teenage shows now, that boy needs to like, he would need, like he would be on some protein shakes.
Ryan Felipe is like the one who's like hot because he's an asshole. And then I think in this movie, he's like too much of an asshole, so it doesn't work.
Well, he's violent.
Yeah, he's scary. Like, whereas Cruel Intentions, he's an asshole, but he's hot because it's like, oh, but like, he's like not gonna hurt me.
No, he's just an asshole, and I would love to do Cruel Intentions. Because I've watched that movie recently, and I could just tear it apart in so many ways. But
we can't get off track.
Are you guys ready to move on to the bad?
Yeah.
Yes.
TC has been waiting for this moment.
Okay, so can someone in like 2 sentences describe to me the plot of this movie?
In 2 sentences?
Or just like one paragraph, why one summer events lead to the next one.
I will do it.
All right,
I can take the challenge.
I can do this. Yeah.
Okay. One summer, some 4 high schoolers accidentally think that they have killed a man who is actually a psycho killer who had just committed a murder, who then tries to exact revenge on them the following summer for trying to kill him, and he continues to be a psycho killer.
Yeah, that's basically it. What this movie really is there was a killer who got hit mid-kill, like escaping a kill, and he now has new targets because the reason he killed in the first place was that his daughter's
boyfriend was in the car when she died or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's why this is bad. Because it is so overtly complicated. It's like they killed a killer who was going to kill a guy who was already going to commit suicide for killing the daughter of the guy.
He wasn't going to commit suicide.
It wasn't a suicide. No, it was a threat. It was like the same.
Oh, yeah.
Also, like one of the things, like I will say, the movie. This is what I was talking about. Like the movie kind of structures itself in a sort of good way. I still think that there is bad because it doesn't connect those threads in a established way on screen. But it's just like when we see that Edgar dude or whatever his name is, the one who they think committed suicide. Yeah, we see him in the beginning. He's on the cliff.
He was hot. Like I would have.
He was hotter. He was hot. And I thought about that. I was like, this dude is hot.
Yeah. I was like,
Roger Ebert said the best part of this movie was the first scene.
Yeah, but like him,
but Roger was into it.
Him sitting on the cliff, on the edge of the cliff,
great hair,
makes sense. And later on, when everyone's like, he committed suicide, again, it makes sense. You saw him on the edge of the cliff. You're like, oh, that follows. But then when we learn more, it's like, no, he never intended to commit suicide. The mere fact that he had like that little token or whatever is supposed to like be a thread where it's like, we see it with him at first, then we see it at the dock, and they're like, it was with that guy and it was with the dock. It's the same guy. However, the one thing that I will say is like bad is they showed the killer's face clearly, and I'm like, 40-year-old man. And then like 50-year-old man, some like older dude, and they're like, it was the teenage boy. And it was like, no, it wasn't. It was a grizzly old man. Don't see that? And they kind of try to cover it up with like, I can't tell because of his face. No, that was an old man. Like,
so yeah, it's so complicated, much more complicated than these, because it could have been like, hey, we killed a guy, his dad's coming after us, and that could have been the end of it. Like,
but it wasn't his dad.
Well, I'm like, and that's another thing. I think that the mystery of who is the killer. And like we're supposed to believe that the body came back, which it did, and they were trying to tie in and give us like this whole, it could be anyone. It could be any one of these young men that we've met so far.
Well, and also the thing is that this kind of exonerates them because like it's not like it was a bad guy, like it was a murderer. So like it's okay that they ran him over in the first place.
Yeah, and that's like I think that. We talked in the good about the morality of this. And as you said, in the very first scene, the two people who die from the group of the 4 are the ones who were like all about condoning it.
They both are like physically putting him in.
Yeah, but then they pull back with the ending, which is that Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, who's always been about taking ownership, and you know what? Now's the time to say something. Fuck Barry. I'm gonna go to cops. I'm gonna tell everyone the truth. The moment she gets a chance to tell the truth to the cops, they're like, no, I don't have an idea. And it's like, so was it the guilt of it because you thought you killed someone, or was it like, and now that you know that you didn't kill someone, you're like, it's fine. I don't even.
I think it is like because it
still was a hit and run. You should still like
no, but I think to Jen's point, like that's why this movie kind of sucks, because the morality tale they're trying to tell, they completely contradict it with this fact that, oh, no, they killed the bad guy, it's fine. Because when they thought they killed Anne Heche's brother, Jennifer Love Hewitt is like, we affected so many lives, like we're like, we did something terrible. Yeah. But once they realize, oh no, it was a killer and all this stuff, she's at college again, she's getting straight A's.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what makes it bad. In like, you can't have a morality tale that in the end, they don't like, they're no longer moral. Yeah. Because the mere fact that they didn't take ownership of it, it's not that people weren't any less, like other people died. There are now, as far as they know, there are unsolved murders. They don't know about Max. They can't like they're not gonna automatically link that to, you know what I mean?
Well, wasn't Max in the bottom of the boat with the ice?
Oh, he was. That's where he kept all the bodies. I was about to say that I forgot about that.
She found all the bodies when she's scrambling through.
But also, I'm just gonna say, it's like, do we assume that this guy just stopped murdering? He was just like, I have a kill list. Anyone who's on that kill list, I'll do.
I guess, but like, it really bothered me about other than the fact that Jennifer Love Hewitt gives us all this exposition literally in one sentence before seeing getting on the boat, is that this guy has so many opportunities to murder these people, and then is just like, you know what? I'm gonna keep playing with them.
Yeah, he does. He does tease them, and they don't kind of.
Also, he absolutely jacks off in the closet to Sarah Michelle Gellar changing. Are we gonna talk about this?
I was just like thinking, like, thank goodness she's a heavy sleeper, because she would have woken up to a fisherman standing over her, like putting a crown on her head.
Yes, that's what's so funny about this guy. He's like, I'm gonna cut her hair. She looks hair. I'm gonna fucking cut her hair.
Because again, like in that scene,
because the censor said
you and your hair.
Yeah,
her hair looks so much better short. Like,
it does.
Yeah, but I love that's what I love too. Is like, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna cut her bald.
Yes.
I'm just gonna give her a cute bob.
I thought the same thing. He was like, I still gonna make it like,
he gave her some length,
hacked into it. Like, I mean, he like layers. I mean, like, and then she, don't get me wrong, she wears a hat, and it's clear that she goes to see someone to get it fixed. But it's like, she's not
bald.
Like, yeah, she's not. Yeah, there should be patches.
It's cute. She looked better.
That's what it just felt like pranks. It like, if this movie had, I don't know if you guys had ever seen. There's this 80s movie called April Fool's Day or something like that, where basically like all the murders end up being like one giant joke. It's all one big prank.
I would love to see
and oh my god, you literally just made me so
and
happy.
in this movie, where like every time they go to show someone a body and it's gone, I was just like, at a certain point I was like, if I was watching this with fresh eyes, I would think that maybe all this was a prank, because none of this is adding up. And like, I think it could be, if again watching it with fresh eyes, maybe it is Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know. This movie sets up rules that like, oh, he's a fisherman. He has a slicker, but we also live in a fisherman's town, but it's midsummer. So what are we looking for clues here? Because everyone is either a suspect, but not a suspect, but is a suspect.
I think the word slicker is adorable. And so it was just so cute to me when they're like, he's wearing a slicker, like so many times. Yeah. It's like, oh.
Barry's like, Ray, you have a slicker.
Don't you? I was like, this is.
I will say, like, I agree with you, and I'll talk about this in the makeover. It's like, Ray being the killer actually makes way more sense. Just from like a plot level. And then also, even like, maybe it's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s acting, but there are so many moments where I'm like, why would you, knowing the ending, why would you not just say something then? Like when they're like, yeah, Billy Blue, he's just like, oh, like, oh, my idea. And then, but his reasoning at the end, he's like, I didn't want to tell you because I wanted to keep you. So you thought the best way to keep this girl.
Well, because he banged Anne Heche.
Yes!
No one talks about this. But Anne Heche says, we were sweet on each other for a little while, but it didn't work out. They fucked.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ah.
And that's why it makes more sense too that he would be the killer, because he's like, not only am I gonna like do all this, I'm gonna bang this guy's sister too. Like,
See, I mean, I'm loving the story we're putting together and like in the makeover because like that to me makes more sense. And there are lots of little things that I think like just Freddie Prinze character, they do it as you said to set up like this red herring, but you're just like, it would honestly take like half of a second to remove yourself from like this.
Well, also when you think about like Freddie Prinze Jr. in the beginning, when they're on the beach and they're telling the story, he's the one who's like really serious about it. He's like, no,
you actually
this
doing it
really
wrong.
happened. You're telling it wrong. Like he's intense about this in such a way that's like.
Also, just back to that scene for a second, because like they're telling it, and like we have like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Felipe like going on about it, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt goes, "No, like it was like something about like it was a hook," and then she was like, and like no one reacts to her, and she's at least that's the way I heard it, and it was like, does everyone hate you? Like no one responded to you. It was so awkward.
It's really funny too, because right before they have sex on the beach, like they say some cheesy ass shit to each other, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt's like, cite your source, and he points to his heart, and I rolled my eyes so fucking hard.
So that brings me to another one of my bads, which is the dialogue in this is just sometimes it's way too hammy. Like the whole idea, I wrote it down. God, let me see. He was like, "You're the only one who gets me," and she replies, "I get your pain." And I was just like, I immediately was like, oh my God, I literally, I would want to kill you two from that sentence alone. Like, it's just like, the dialogue in this gets really, really hammy in moments. Again, when they say something, she's like, well, you know, I'm a feminist. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, that's, it's a lot of, there's so many points where they show us and don't tell us vital information, but then they tell us and don't show us information that shouldn't like for example like
the whole solving of the mystery
we shouldn't have to have Sarah Michelle Gellar's sister saying you washed up has-been for us to know that there's like it's just it's so visceral.
Well, also there's like a line, I wrote it down, and specifically in the beginning, where Sarah Michelle Gellar is like talking and she's saying these cliche things and she's just like, and then blah blah blah, and I was like, that's lazy writing, but it's also very true to how this scene feels. It just feels like you're saying nonsense and that has no weight and that we could have moved on by now. And then the acting is...
Who do you think... Okay, let's list the main cast.
Let's rank it.
Let's rank Jen, we'll start this. Ranking best actor to worst actor.
Best actor to Sarah Michelle Gellar. Top.
Look, it's like full stop. And then we have a 3-way tie for last.
I think I'm gonna put J Love.
Yes, I'll give her that.
And then Ryan Phillippe, and then Freddie Prinze Jr.
I completely agree with her.
I completely agree with her. If we're expanding, I would have to say that I think Anne Heche and Johnny Galecki were both better actors.
No, absolutely.
Than Freddie Prinze Jr.
One thing I forgot, but and I didn't say another. The Anne Heche scene when I was younger was the more scarier scene.
She's creepy. She's scary.
She's creepy, and she
and
like
Freddie Prinze Jr. fucked her.
You're like, we don't talk about it enough.
She's heartbroken over her dead brother.
It's so weird.
Her mom just died, and he's like, you know what?
She's like skinning turkeys in the yard.
Yeah, but like to me, I remember watching it and being terrified whenever they went to go visit her. She played that creepy Sticks girl so well, and even when she like pops up to the window and she's like, got these guards started. You're like, this woman is fucking crazy. I don't know.
The scariest part of the movie to me when I first saw it. Like,
and for a post-Scream world, to have her be revealed to be the killer would have been so much scarier and cooler.
Or like a partnership between her and Freddie Prinze. You know, it's just like that would make like all the pieces are there.
Oh yeah, because like Billy Blue or whatever.
Like to me,
which is so they can't believe they were like, we have to check the yearbook for Billy Blue. Like obviously that's a fake name.
Well, there's that because they do like, well, maybe it's a fake name. I mean, we gave one, and then also there's that scene where she's just like, what is they do something along the lines of she's like, go call AAA, Natasha. And she's just like, okay, Veronica. And I can't remember the names, but it was just like so. no one's buying
Yeah.
this right now.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous.
So to your point
Yeah.
about it being really bad dialogue, at one point, right before they get in the car, before the accident, Ryan Phillippe gives the keys to Freddie Prinze Jr. and he's like, "Be careful with my car, shit smear," or something like that. It's like, who calls someone a shit smear?
Oh my god.
But like, I think, and then also there are certain things that just didn't add up to me, such as like the fact that this entire town is just empty at random moments. It's like, is it a small town or is it not? Because if it's a small town, the idea that they don't know that Barry is her boyfriend makes no sense. You're telling me that the queen from last year's parade, no one knows anything about personal life wise? By the way, these 4 kids just graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, also this town apparently has several drownings every year. That so much so that they had to go through archives of drownings within the last year to find the right person. Is what's happening in this town?
I mean, well, again, I think we talked about it. There was a serial killer on the loose, number 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I was watching this.
Was he though, or was he just killing that guy for the death of his
Here's the
daughter,
thing. It doesn't make sense for him to kill Max or Elsa
or the cop?
or the cop if he was just. Here's the thing: if he only went after the 4 kids,
He likes killing.
yeah, if he only went after the 4 kids and like the guy in the beginning, then I would be, yes, you're right. This guy has a vendetta, and he just like, that makes sense. He has a moral code, and he's trying to live by that in a vigilante type way. But the mere fact that he kills Elsa, who has nothing to do with it.
Even if it was like a thing of, I want to hurt you by hurting someone you love.
Exactly.
The cop is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, and
I
by the
was
way,
excited. The cop died. The cop deserved to die.
the cop. Here's the thing.
Fuck the police.
They definitely set it up to where the cop is just like the least
Yeah.
sympathetic.
Well, to your point of like, if they're gonna punish the four kids, punish
Yeah.
the 4 kids.
Yes.
All the other things are still, but that's the thing. Like, if this guy was a serial killer prior to killing the guy that killed his daughter, oh my god, I hate this movie. Then the whole thing about his daughter dying in the car accident is incidental. It's just a serial killer. Why not just make it, hey, you killed a serial killer? That's way more interesting. Why give us all this backstory about this crash?
Well, I do think it's like there is a revenge aspect, but also he's fucking crazy. Like, and that's what I think is all of these things we have to, like with the hair cutting, just go with because he's fucking crazy. Like,
Well, actually, I mean, to that point, then the murder in Scream 2 doesn't make sense because it's kind of the same motivation.
Bruh. Yeah, I agree.
TC is like, yeah.
That's not helping.
I'm not disagreeing, but no. But yeah.
I will say about the killer though, like I wish that like this is, I mean, it's hard pressed for me to say anything bad about it because to me, all of the bad is good.
Yeah.
But I do like watching it again, especially. I'm confused about his speed, his agility. Like sometimes he like is so slow walking after them, and then sometimes he's like running, and then sometimes he is able to like get from one place to another very quickly. Like the fact that he got that body and all the crabs out of the trunk once again. How
instantly.
He like took the time. In the scene with Sarah Michelle Gellar in the new dress shop, when he's killed someone, stashed her in the bathroom, and then put a giant tarp over himself.
Without getting any blood on
silently. And then when she but he struggles to get out of it. It's actually kind of funny. It's like a cat caught in a bag. Like he's like, oh, like trying to get out of the tarp. But it was like, but you put it on so easily and silently. Like I want more.
There's also I was gonna say that when he cut her hair, he put the crown on her as well, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
so funny.
But also because she goes back, she's like, he has my crown, which again, the mere fact that I was like, oh, this is what you go after. There was a dude you just dumped in the body whose eyes opened, by the way.
Well, I think it was an evidence thing too, like him holding.
I get that, but his eyes opened. That's what you should be worried about at this point in time.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was gonna say that it just didn't.
Honestly, it should have just been a hit and run. Like if they were worried about their reputations, like why? Like they should have just been like, oh, get back in the car. Let's go. Like,
yes, their logic. Their logic is a whole other conversation because again, we hit a deer. First, all right. So wait, let me back up. First of all, body flies over Ryan Phillippe. flies over him, so therefore the body should be behind the car.
Also, Ryan Felipe, if he had a grown adult body hit him at that speed, he would be knocked out. Yeah. Like,
but he just has like a little scratch. So again, physics in there doesn't make sense because a body that got hit and was thrown behind the car is now
so fast.
in front of it. No, I believed that part because you hit someone, your adrenaline's coming in, and you're just like, holy shit.
That's true.
Immediately they're like, we got to get rid of the body. Not let's just leave. It's just like, nope, got to dump it. And it's just like, we'll dump it. All our college. Do you want? It's like. Hey,
the two responses are not like they act as though it's we call the police or we dump the body, and it's like we could just leave, like just leave.
It would literally be a hit and run. No one would know. They have a very good point. He was in the middle of the road,
guys,
at night.
If some of him's on the car, some of the car's on him, like.
Again,
they're gonna connect it.
They did reference that.
Again, there's just no, because they immediately like, you're gonna lose your scholarship. How? Like this is not how the world works.
Well, my favorite thing is they're like, we need to dump the body, and they literally dump it in like the calmest bay. Like this thing is like 3 feet deep, right?
Again, no weights or anything, and like,
why don't you throw him into this active cliffs like these oceans that we see? Like throw him off something. These shouldn't float to the top.
Exactly. This is just this. It made no sense. And again, from the moment that he opened his eyes, I'm like, your whole plan no longer works. You know he wasn't dead when you left him in there.
Well, then they kill him. And that's a murder, and that's why the guilt is so.
That's what I'm saying. It goes from hit and run. Shoot, they're like He's clearly dead, Julie. And you're just like, wait, no. I mean, did anyone check pulse? Or anything? Like, you guys didn't do anything.
Question: do you believe any of these events would have happened if they didn't come home for summer? Like, would it have just been Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar dead?
I wonder that as well. Like, the letter came for Julie before she was home.
Yeah.
But it went to her home. It didn't go to her college.
But then he does know that she's at college at the end. Like, I still know.
No, that's just him. That's just him following her. All right, so like kind of to wrap up the bad, and then we can get into the makeover. Another thing is, so we get some diversity, but like it's done in such a way where it's like we don't like when Julie's roommate comes in, they give her this whole time she's talking, lots of lines. Don't give her a name at all. She's kind of like if anything, she's kind of Julie's chauffeur because like she just goes, drops her off, and then at the end of the movie, and at the she does make fun of her for being pasty, which I love. And then at the end, she's like, "Thanks, Deb," and like you don't get a name and a scene, woman. You either get on screen or you get your name referenced. I will not allow both.
You know what? I will say, like, there's a lot of times I'm watching movies and I'm really like aware of the lack of diversity or something like that. But in this specific movie, just being from the Carolinas, I'm like, yeah, that's a town of only white folks.
No. I didn't say that it didn't make sense. I'm saying when we get diversity, i.e. she's in college now, there are black people around.
I love that because in the sequel, Brandy's her roommate, so I'm like, is she requesting black roommates?
Here's the thing, when you're around a lot of white people, you're just like, especially one that try to kill you.
I love too the only real dialogue we get from the black roommate is her calling her pasty.
Exactly.
You need to go get yourself a tan.
But that's my point. It's just like that's all we get.
Yeah.
It does really well, as you said. It's kind of a feminist in a way.
Well, all horror movies are kind of feminist.
Yeah, that's
with the final girl like overcoming.
However, some of the time it becomes this kind of like voyeuristic, like let's see this sexy woman get hurt kind of thing, which I don't feel like it does that.
Well, and I will say, I think there was a really good job of like, and I think Kevin Williamson is just better at this than some other horror movie writers, where there's typically at one point in the movie, one scene where like the hot girl just gets naked or strips or does something sexual for no reason.
I mean, that's a really good point, because like even when Sarah Michelle Gellar changes her clothes, any other director would have had her like take off and she's in like panties and bra. And
maybe would have done some other close-ups to the closet, heavy breathing.
But like, but like this one is just like we know that he's there.
She's just getting ready for bed. She gets ready for bed. It feels
also like her father like. I love how they show her father is so removed that literally another person comes in, walks right by him, and he does not.
I feel like someone's gonna be like, "Hey, sir, both of your daughters died." You know the game. No, I'm watching the game. Like, that's just the kind of character they paint.
Yeah, very, very much.
But I do, and this is just like I think it's hilarious that like the Hook story like really bookends everything because he like is killing with the hook, and at the end he loses his hand. So
and
like,
they only have the hook in there.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say earlier that I got distracted from, which was that as much as I love that kind of poeticness of the hook, it makes no sense for that to be. He wasn't on the beach when we heard this story. So why did he select it? And then why does he keep it? Like, because here's the thing. When he does it with Max, they do show the hook.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, this is a convenient killing tool, and he used it. But it's just like, he does it, and that he could have left it there and then used other tools. But now that's his signature. He's like, oh, I like this one. Nice weight to it.
Like, you know what? And that's why this movie, and like, it couldn't pick a backstory. Is this guy a serial killer who kills with the hook, who inspired Freddie Prinze Jr.'s story on the beach at the beginning? Because that would make sense. That like, hey, no, there's this guy that kills with the hook. Like, this is a...
Or maybe that was
makes it seem more like it's going to be Freddie Prinze Jr.
I just got that. I was like, oh, they're trying to tell us.
Because he was the one who was so into the story.
No,
so
but
like,
the first time we see the hook is Ryan Phillippe attacking Matt. Like, Freddie Prinze Jr. isn't even there when the killer so-called, like...
That's what I'm saying. It's like, even when I looked at this, I was like, I would like to... When we see the old guy at the end, which again, I was like, old guy. And so, like, I think, they could have done a better job at covering up his face, because then it could be anyone, but I mean, it was like, older dude. And then, not only that, but with Freddie Prinze Jr., he's present during a lot of the story beats. We don't see this guy at all. He just shows up at the end, unless he's like, we see him in the crowd as like the killer. And that, like, even again in the parade, older dude. So it's just like, no, it's clear that it's some older dude.
Yeah.
And that to me takes away the whole it could be Freddie Prinze Jr. type situation. Had we met him, because what they do in Scream 2 that's good is we meet the mom
multiple times in the movie.
We meet her, she shows up, and so you're like, oh, this one character who I didn't really think could be harmful or even important to the story turns out to be. That makes more sense than just, hey, by the way, random dude.
And I guess this is more into like the makeover, but like, so like Pretty Little Liars, when it's like multiple A's, like if it's like a team, like it would have been really cool if, and like you guys said this earlier, if it was like the old man, but it was also Freddie Prinze Jr. because he fucked Anne Heche, and then Anne Heche.
Honestly,
so it's like a group of
let's just get into the makeover. Because I love that.
Jen, tell us your version of I Know What You Did Last Time.
Okay, so it's changed barely anything. Like, it's iconic. But I do think like the mystery of it to me would have been more original and fun if it like was not just a whodunit like one person, but it was like, oh, Anne Heche is in on this because she's creepy as fuck. Freddie Prinze Jr. is in on it. Like he like maybe felt so much guilt that he now is trying to seek revenge, like as a way to like assuage his own guilt over what happened. And then also the old man is crazy, but like he has recruited these like two young impressionable like teens, or like however old Anne Heche is supposed to be, that like they're all in it together and they're all killing that.
Yes, no, honestly, I agree with you that to me, this movie would have made, like, it would have even been better had like what if the town was in on it? You know what I mean? Like that would make sense. Where it's just like, no, like the town is punishing, because again, this doesn't have like this morale tale to it, and like the fact that they don't own up to it at the end, again, it's just like that all makes more sense than this one guy. As you said, TC, it kind of gets convoluted. Just with like its reasoning and like the different ways you have to connect, and it's not all in the script. My version was, there were two things I would like to do. One, watching this, I was like, I honestly would like, you don't get to see a lot of minority centric versions of this story. So I think like having this exact same script or premise, but like all Hispanic cast or all Black cast or something like that, where it's just like, in reality, it's like we know how white people react to this, but how do Black people react to it? Like, hitting a body,
Hitting a
yeah.
white body
A
in North
white body.
Carolina
And-
and
Oh
being like,
man.
like, no, we have to hide this
Exactly.
body.
That makes that to me, stakes are high. And then that to
That
me
is
also
so true.
right,
And also
understand
why
the-
you can't go to the police.
why you can't go to the police, and also the whole losing your scholarship or like all that. Those beats make way more sense.
Yeah, these are rich white people.
Thank you. They
Like,
were like, we're gonna get in trouble.
they
Like,
could have bought their way.
You're
Yeah.
white rich kids. None of you were going to jail
Yeah.
for someone who was in the middle of the road. And I think that's kind of like when I saw that immediately, and I saw Ryan Felipe kind of like being like, "Oh, we're gonna get in trouble." It's like that just shows me how privileged you are, because you like honestly think that this means anything for you.
Yeah.
When it's the 90s, you're fine.
Yeah.
So that was something I liked. Or something else that I considered was he's clearly been stalking these kids. I would like a version from his point of view. You know, it's just like honestly, if we were to do like has anyone seen You on
Yes.
Netflix? Have you
I
seen
haven't too.
So
I've
you've
got
seen
it.
You on Netflix, and it's this serial killer, and we kind of see things from his perspective. Like we see him stalk this girl. We see how he gets into other people's rooms and stuff, and how makes things look coincidental. And that to me is something that I think, because I would love to see how he does all of these things. And I think honestly the story is more interesting if you take this dude who, like, if we start off kind of in a Sunset Boulevard type way, where it's like you open up, he's underwater, and he's like, "Yep, that's me underwater. I bet you're wondering how I got here." And it's like, you know, and it's just like from that point on, we see him track down these kids who think they've gotten away with it, and it's kind of like, because he's our protagonist, we're kind of rooting for him, but at the exact same time, this dude's a killer, and like it's, you know, we kind of want him to get.
You do, because when you look at it from that perspective too, it is like, look at these 4 privileged white assholes who fucking ran me over and left me for dead, and then they're just continuing on about their lives. Like,
Again, that to me is motivation in itself, and that's a far more interesting story than what we got. Even though I'm with you, I love this movie to
it's a
death.
great movie.
Quick sidetrack. I do want to say that there is a great movie called The Rise of Leslie Vernon, which is a movie about a serial killer preparing to do a series of kills, where he's like, it's like a comedy kind of all-fest documentary where he's like, all right, so this is how I trap people down, and this is how I make it look like I'm walking when I'm really running, and it's actually a super interesting movie.
I would love to see that.
Yeah,
Because,
it's
I was
All right,
it's
how would
great.
you do?
Okay, so
TC's so excited.
I have a few very simple things to make this movie workable. One of them is just to get rid of the whole kid on the cliff, just get rid of the whole storyline with this guy, that Billy, like, Anne Heche, all of that.
Yeah.
And literally just make this a movie about a guy punishing these 4 specific people for a crime they committed against him.
Yeah.
That's something that would make this so much easier to follow from just a, hey,
I
let's
would
release
argue
this.
that's what it is, though. It just has the red herring.
Well, no, I think that what TC's saying is the red herrings are actually distractions.
No, I don't mind the red herrings. What I'm saying is, to give such complicated backstory to a red herring, we spend a majority of this movie focusing on the wrong.
You're actually right. Like, it's like, not only do we spend the majority of the movie, but when I looked at like the timestamp, it's like an hour had gone by, and you were just like, wait, really? We're just now getting
Yeah, and
that's
like
true.
again, we're not introduced to this killer, his motivation, anything until right before he shows up on screen in the 3rd act, like at the end of the 3rd act. So, like, to me, it just seemed like, all right, like, first of all, them trying to solve this, like,
I love when teenagers are like, we can do, because then they're like, we can catch this guy and talk to him. What?
So that's one thing I would
Like,
change.
yeah, what were they gonna do when they caught him? Like, we can catch him. Like,
And then do what?
Yeah.
Sit him down and be like, hey,
stop killing us.
did we hit you?
Because I feel like this movie, like, the premise of it was like, hey, like, it's the 90s, we want to stop drunk driving.
Yes.
Like, it's a morality tale.
Yeah, she literally says, "Don't drive drunk."
Like if the movie had been more of just, because that's what I think is more of a classic throwback to like those early 80s movies of like, well, if you do drugs or if you drink or if you have sex, you're gonna get in this. Like,
If you kill someone, you're gonna get punished.
simplify it.
He says that. Shit, it's the 4th of July. Shouldn't you be out drinking, having fun, committing murders?
It's so bad.
That is what I love to do at the 4th of July.
Also,
show.
by the way, I like to me, this felt like one of those movies that was trying to create a Halloween. Because again, he goes, "Happy 4th of July."
Yeah.
Like there's any tie to like.
But you said you watch this every 4th of July.
Oh, I do. Which again, it's like for me, it worked for what he wanted. But I think that it's crazy to see that like that in my mind was what they were going for, because the whole "Happy 4th of July," like, by the way, not like it's a background thing.
Yeah.
So like if the murders were 4th of July themed, I could see it, but like other than that line makes no sense.
Yeah, well, if we're going to start talking about not lines that don't make sense, we're going to be here all day, guys. One of the other things I do want to say was that Jen's point of changing the killer to Anne Heche, I think is so much more interesting. I like this idea of, okay, so in the sequel, and we might end up doing this movie one day, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I still know what you did last summer. The son of the guy that they killed ends up being the killer.
Yes.
So what I would have liked is if they kind of merged that in a way where we find out that Freddie Prinze Jr. is somehow, like, he finds out after they did this thing where they were like, it's not a big deal. And he realized, oh, that person I killed was like someone important to me.
Yeah.
And then he starts spiraling out of control, and it makes him and Anne Heche or whatever, like, just something to where, like, it's more personal. But I think specifically the reason they didn't do that was because Scream had just came out and the boyfriend was just the killer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean, but I think that the boyfriend...
But
again,
I'm
it's
okay
like,
with the boyfriend being the killer.
it's fine. Again, like, you're already doing
Tropes.
a tale as old as time. Why not just keep with it? It's like, yeah. And like the idea of...
She'd already broken up with him anyway.
Like it had just come out a year before. And like, what if people have been like, oh, kind of like what happened in Scream? Yeah, but it doesn't mean like if you hit those same beats and they have Anne Heche and Freddie Prinze be the killers, it's still like, if anything, the movie is better and it makes more sense.
Even Johnny Galecki as the killer would have been a better, like, he had backstory. He had a reason to hate these
That's what
people.
I'm saying. Like when the fisherman shows up, it is kind of like out of nowhere. We've never seen him before. If he was like a customer at the store, I would be like, oh, that dude who we saw buy whatever.
I do wish we had seen him before. However, when I love the reveal of like, oh, I have the suicide note, which big Leon change. But like when it is those like, letters.
By the way, I did love how, because I learned this from this movie, where she was like, well, I hid it because I wouldn't have gotten insurance money. And I was like, good on you, girl. Commit that insurance fraud.
There's two themes here, guys. Don't drink and drive, and fuck the police. We're seeing it throughout.
It is very true. Very true.
Yeah. Keep going.
But just like I love that moment. That was like when she's like, it's not a suicide note, it's a warning. Like I just felt like that was one of the iconic things. And it is like that's where you realize, like, oh, we killed like this wrong person.
Exactly.
But I also feel incredibly bad for Anne Heche, because up until this point she's like, oh yeah, my brother killed himself. Oh hey, by the way, that's not a suicide note. By the way, I think we hit your brother with your car. By the way, I'm out.
By the way, what? She definitely does that. She definitely goes in, disrupts his entire woman's life. It's just like, oh yeah, it's not what you think it is. He didn't commit suicide. He was threatened. It's really complicated. I can't really get into details right now.
Well, then she goes because when she's going, I saw him, I saw his tattoo, and he's like, he didn't have no tattoo.
Yeah. Then it's just like, oh, so you literally had no reason to disrupt this woman's life.
Because that's another thing that I was like, you guys went in here with like, no. How about you start off with, hey, did your brother have a tattoo? Or like is this the guy that we think it is?
Not only did we not kill your brother, we're gonna make you think we did. Also, my friend fucked you and made you sad. What?
This my boyfriend. He wants to get back with me now.
If anything, Anne Heche's character should be the character in the sequel.
They've done her the most wrong.
The insurance fraud check got the insurance came back and demanded the money because they found out it wasn't a suicide. Like all of these things, I just think that
I feel bad for this small town police department trying to make sense of this shit show of a case.
I mean, all they wanted to do was protect the parade.
Yeah,
like that. Oh, which, by the way, that's another point just in this movie when he's like, "We're gonna need the crown back." I was like, "Fuck you, old man," because he's just like,
"You only have one crown,
but we're gonna need that crown back." I was like, "Is this the moment, sir?"
By the way,
this pageant, it's not for Miss USA or Miss America. Like, it's literally like just for a small town and then goes no further. Like, I I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
I don't know what this contest is because the woman who sings Fame is 45 years old conservatively. And so it's like, all right, she's competing against an 18-year-old high school girl. What is this contest?
Okay, so let's kind of wrap it up a little bit.
So-
Oh, I will say, do you guys have like, if you were going to do any casting, who would you do for like the
Oh my god, same casting.
You're like absolutely saying
Same
everyone.
Except for, no, I do love your idea of like changing it to be like not white people.
Yes.
For like a remake, yeah.
Yeah, because I just
Yeah.
believe that the stakes, in fact, would be
100%.
I think it
a
would be
lot
scarier. I think actually that would be like
Again,
super
that's
interesting.
another thing. They're always like, we can't go to the cops. I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
especially once murders start happening.
Yeah.
Why can't you go to the cops?
Yeah.
At this point in time, the murder trumps your hit and run. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna put that in
Yeah.
some context for you. So I think like adding the racial element to it, absolutely.
I think too that like, and it's
Tell Jordan Peele.
And also, if we had spent a little bit more time with these characters prior to like this day where we learned that like, hey, like Freddie Prinze Jr. isn't from a lot. Like we just get all this in dialogue. We don't see him like, oh, I'm so happy I got this scholarship. This means so much. I'm actually going to be able to do something with my life. Like
Exactly.
we don't know what the future means for any of these people really, other than just that campfire thing.
This is one of the ones because they did it with Scream, where they made it into like a series, and it kind of worked. But I feel like this makes more sense.
That's what I was going to say. Like
series.
this could totally be like what were we saying?
Netflix.
No, like
Teen drama.
yeah, like what was the one that Jen was talking about? Where
Dawson's Creek.
where like they leave the
Oh, Pretty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars.
We're naming everything.
This being like a hey, we have this secret, and not only like but over a period of time, there's someone who's fucking with us, who's sending us messages.
I mean, that's pretty much.
It would be
what
a
Pretty Little
great
Liars is.
Yeah.
TV show though. It'll be like, yeah, the first episode is like they killed these people, and then it's like someone knows, like flash forward a year, and then you could watch it. Like I would,
Again, yeah, that
Sure.
and then on
it would work way better like that.
it would
actually.
work so much better, and then also
So
it
much
would
more could be
really
explained.
give you like a chance to honestly not know who the killer is, because at that point in time, the ability to build up the possibility that it's anyone,
yeah,
you know, that it could be Max, that it
Yeah.
could be Freddie Prinze Jr., that could be Anna Hayes. You get time to like honestly, like it could be Elsa. Is it the town?
Yeah.
Like,
And then you get to build the relationships more and like care more and stuff like that. And it would be fun to do that, just like, but it's like a one season thing, so you can still have people dying.
I love also like now if we're thinking about 2019, the idea of jumping forward a lot. Jumping forward 20, 30 years. We live in a time now where shit from people's past from the 80s and 90s is coming back and haunting them in big ways.
absolutely.
So like Ryan Phillippe's character as like 20 years later being this person who has so much to lose, and we're seeing this older white man with all this privilege like trying
I
so
think
hard to
that
not
that's definitely how they would do it now. Like, you know, if they were to do a sequel, because like how they do Scream Forward, where it's like, all right, Julie and Freddie Prinze Jr. are established. They're older. They have, you know, like
they have family
things to lose.
Yeah, they have kids.
And someone's targeting their children. You know, like that all makes sense.
And then they're like, "Hey, Barry, we need to come forward." And he's like, "I'm a head of industry. I can't do this shit." Like, just something to just kind of make it a little bit more relevant. I think would be interesting too. But
Although they didn't kill anyone now, so it's like,
yeah, I mean, like again, this is what's weird. It's like they killed, but they didn't kill, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But now the killer's still after them, and it's just like it's
yeah, that's right. It was like a murder, but he never.
he didn't die.
He
All
didn't.
right, so to wrap this up,
He's so dumb.
we always ask our guests, is this movie more good than bad?
Good. Yes.
Okay, TC, where do you sit?
I sit on the opposite side of this couch.
All right, and I want to say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do this. Even with all of its bad and all the things that we've pointed out, this movie to me is way more good.
Yes.
Like, and it's way more fun. From a movie standpoint, like, I feel like the problems are not even with the script. It's how that's carried out.
Yeah.
Because as I said, when you look into things, it's all right.
It also makes you wonder, like, how much important shit ended up on the editing floor because it was deemed boring.
Well, yeah. Well, also, so what's interesting is very often we kind of started off this particular episode with why did they kill Max? They said that they killed Max specifically because the reason I told you, which is that Max is there and it's like it's threatening.
he was gonna go to the cops.
He was going to go to the cops, but also it wasn't like there's no stakes. Like as we said, like, we go a whole hour just kind of like setting out the story. And because Max is dead, we now know this guy is dangerous.
He's
Yeah.
going to kill them.
Yeah. Other than that, you're right. They're just pranks. It really could just be someone knows and is kind of messing with them.
Yeah.
But we know that it's deadly because of Max's death.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. That is another episode of Movie Makeover. Jen,
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me on Insta, Jenigan, Jenigan, or at Acme Comedy, 4th Fridays of every month.
Nice. Thank you again. Remember, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places. You can find me on Twitter at Extra Ceej. That's XTRACEEJ. And totally.
You guys can find me at @abraverme, at .braver.me on Instagram. And if you guys have any thoughts on how to make this movie better, you could share it with us at Movie Makeover on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also email us your ideas at moviemakeoverpod@gmail.com.
As always, I'm Ceej.
And I'm TC. Makeover and out!
What are you waiting for?